What's going on? TK coming at you with the continuation on the series. The series is My Future. Message to my son when you grow up and capable of understanding these messages. So this concept is the credit game and OPM, other people's money. And this is one that few people master. Actually, this is relegated to the 1% because when it comes to actually using this strategy or being a technician within this realm, very few people ever do it. But there's plenty of examples in terms of you don't have to grow up anymore. When I was little, they used to always say, grow up, figure out what you want to do. Now it's just have a vision, be clear in that vision, develop your talent, perfect it, and you don't have to grow up. There's plenty of examples of children who perfected a vision and then use OPM to fund it. So it's more important for you to develop a talent, develop a skill, perfect it, have a clear vision, and then use credit and OPM to finance that vision. That's more important, and that's what the 1% do. Very few people are practitioners of this concept. So OPM is other people's money, and the credit game is what the financial world made up to keep people from having access. And limited access and engineered scarcity is where most people exist. So in order for you not to exist in that box of mediocrity and poverty, you have to perfect a vision and not be limited by the negative projection that's going to come at you from everyone around you, because they're not able to raise their vibrational rate, elevate their consciousness. They're not able to study and learn and comprehend. It doesn't open up doors. And then they project that same limited access onto other people around them. So you can't fall victim to that subjugation and that prison. You have to not be affected by the negativity that constantly is going to come at you in terms of telling you what you can't do. Perfect your vision. Have a vision at a youngest age possible. Develop a skill that is marketable at the youngest age possible. You no longer have to grow up. You just have to grow into what vision that God gives you and what talents that naturally exists inside of you. You have to be able to meditate in that silence and that peace so that you can somehow tune your gifts and step into or blossom into what you are intended to be, whatever that is. You know, some people go through their whole life and they never find that. So if you can find it and you can meditate and you can get into that silence and that oneness, then you're ahead of the game. And giving you tools that put you ahead of the game and allowing you access and seeing you have a better life than what I have is the entire process. So credit and other people's money. Think about these high-rise buildings that are under construction. They're never paid for by the person behind the quote-unquote project. It's always OPM. It's a consortium of investors that come together to finance a concept. And the idea is simply having the concept and presenting to venture capitalists so that someone effectively can see what it is that you have in your mind. And once you convey that to someone who is a capitalist, a funder, a fundraiser, then they will support your vision. So it's really about having vision, perfecting talents, and presenting it to OPM and credit. 450 to 850, you want to just be able to demonstrate your management ability in paying back debt. That's the credit game. The credit game is just paying back debt with discipline and consistency. So that's why I always tell you to zero out your cards frequently and know that everything is credit, to include fiat currency. They're interchangeable. So fund or funnel your fiat or your finance into your credit channels, zero out your cards frequently, and stay within the 50% availability on those balances. Build a history of discipline, self-mastery, self-control, and come up with a vision within entrepreneurship, within smart business that makes financial probability, and people will back it. It's just that simple. It's a matter of you having a clear vision, presenting it effectively to venture capitalists so that someone else with finance basically funnels it in your direction, because you've demonstrated your ability to exercise discipline, to follow the rules of credit, to separate yourself from the idiots in the world, to not operate the way they operate, to be a strong financial steward. And with a track record and history of proper management, that's when the credit doors open to you. That's how you rise to the 850 level, because you've built a history of being able to manage fiat currency as a tool and use it for access and save. Once you set up that kind of precedence, that's when the credit door open to you. When you talk about platinum, you talk about black, you talk about higher levels of access. So I'm passing this on to you with the idea of mastering this system and not being like everyone else who don't get it and refuse to have the mental ability to learn it. So it's not only hiding information, it's also people not being able to comprehend information to the point of using it to their benefit. And you'll find that. So a lot of things are esoteric or only exposed to a certain few because they don't have the ability to understand what's being presented. So I'm presenting to you in this format because it's a cosmic presentation. It's putting out energy, amplifying that energy, and when it cycles back to you, it's going to have a meaningful intent. And hopefully you're going to have the ability to understand it and use it to your benefit. That's called tools. That's called strategy. And that's what rich people pass on to their children continuously. And usually rich people will back that information with physical examples that the children see as they grow up. So hopefully I'll not only have this video for you, but have examples that you'll be able to become accustomed to, and you'll use that as a reference point for your understanding of the information. I had to come at it from the back side. In other words, my father gave me information, I ignored it, and then life began to prove that information to be true the older I got, and I came back to it. So my father always says the prodigal son returns, but it's not because I was stupid. It was because I was too close to the trees to be able to appreciate them. So I hope that I can help you, son, and I hope that this information enlightens you to the point where you're not like everybody else. Separate yourself because you want different results. You want a better life. You want different solutions, and you have to make different decisions. So everything involves your choices, and hopefully this will help you to make better decisions.